In the world of solo leveling, your rank is your destiny. If you're born in E rank, you stay in E rank. That was the reality for Sung Jin-Woo, the world's weakest hunter. But everything we thought we knew about the rules of this world was shattered the moment he stepped into the double dungeon. Most gates are straightforward. You enter, you kill the boss, you collect the loot. But the Cartenon Temple was different. It wasn't just a dungeon, it was a testing ground, a place where the strongest warriors were crushed like ants by a stone giant with a terrifying human-like smile. But what exactly is this statue? Is it a god, a monster, or something even more sinister? Today, we're breaking down the full history of the architect and the terrifying truth behind the system.
The story begins with a massive oversight by the Hunters Association. Based on the mana radiation, this gate was classified as D rank, something even Jin-Woo could survive. But that's the first mystery. How did an S rank threat hide inside a D rank gate? This is what we call a double dungeon. It's an incredibly rare phenomenon where a hidden area exists behind the boss room. Normally, hunters leave after the boss is dead, but this group decided to push their luck. They found the Cartenon Temple, and that's where the rules of the world stopped making sense. The statues weren't just decorative, they were guardians. Even a high-ranking warrior in the group admitted he had never seen anything that radiated such pure, overwhelming dread. Think about the psychological trap here. The architect designed this to filter out the weak. If you weren't brave or desperate enough to enter that second door, you were never player material. The dungeon itself was a job interview written in blood. The only way to survive was to follow the laws etched on a stone tablet. Worship the Lord. This required the hunters to bow. Those who didn't were instantly decapitated or burned by the statue's heat vision. Praise the Lord. The hunters had to run to the statues holding musical instruments. Prove your faith. The final test, standing on an altar while a fire circle closed in. There's a lot of debate about the language on that tablet. In the original webtoon, it looked like Hebrew, leading many to think it was a biblical reference. In the anime, it's more runic and alien. But here's the kicker. The commandments are actually user permissions. When Jin-Woo worshipped, he wasn't submitting to a god, he was acknowledging the system's authority. When he praised, he was verifying the system's functionality. And when he proved his faith, he was finally accepted as the host. This wasn't a religious ritual, it was a software installation on a human body. The massive statue is modeled after the absolute being, the actual creator god of the solo leveling universe. But the statue itself isn't sentient, it's a puppet. The puppeteer is the architect. The architect is an ancient being who made a deal with Ashborn, the Shadow Monarch. Ashborn needed a human vessel, and the architect, being a genius of magical engineering, offered to build a system that could prepare a human body to handle that godlike power. The architect's personality is key here. He's arrogant and views humans as inferior bugs. That famous mocking smile on the statue, that's the architect's true face. He finds the struggle of humans amusing. He didn't just want a vessel, he wanted to watch his creations suffer and grow for his own entertainment. He's the ultimate toxic game dev who loves making the game impossible just to watch players rage quit or die. The architect didn't initially want Jin-Woo. He wanted someone strong. But it turns out, high-ranking hunters were too full of their own power. To build a perfect vessel, you need a blank slate. Jin-Woo was so weak that the system could rewrite his DNA from the ground up. Over the course of the series, we see him level up, gain new skills, and change physically. But this was all a polishing process. The architect was literally upgrading the hardware so the Shadow Monarch could eventually hit install. This adds a dark layer to Jin-Woo's journey. Every time he felt proud of a level up, he was actually just becoming a better suit for someone else to wear. The architect even had a failsafe. If Jin-Woo's heart rate ever dropped too low or he refused a quest, the system would kill him. He was a prisoner of his own growth.
Everything comes full circle at level 100. Jin-Woo returns to the temple, but this time he isn't afraid. He faces the statue of God, his greatest trauma, and destroys it. This is the moment the architect loses control. He realizes that Jin-Woo has evolved too much. The vessel has developed a will of its own. The architect tries to delete his player, but Jin-Woo has already surpassed the limits of the game. He kills his creator, ending the architect's ego trip and officially claiming the power of the Shadow Monarch as his own. The statue of God remains one of the most iconic images in modern anime because it represents the moment the protagonist stopped being a victim and started being a player. It reminds us that in the world of solo leveling, even God is just a boss waiting to be defeated. What do you think? If you were in the double dungeon, would you have been able to figure out the rules, or would you have just been another sacrifice on the altar? Let me know your thoughts on the architect's plan in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more solo leveling breakdowns. We've got more coming your way soon. Until next time, keep leveling up.